Hey everybody, I've decided to make a video as a follow-up to my video I made Tuesday evening. I was very emotional when I made the video, so if I was a little illogical, a little irrational, I apologize. It was made at the spur of the moment after very devastating news was given to me. I was upset, I was sad. I wanted to make a second video talking a little more in detail, a little less attitude, and a little less vulgarity. I apologize for that. The issue of same-sex marriage. Everybody is bringing up this issue now because of this recent amendment. The amendment wasn't about marriage. Heterosexual, traditional marriage was already the only legally established form of marriage in the state of North Carolina. Gay marriage was not recognized. Gay marriages from other states were also not recognized in North Carolina. This bill had nothing to do with marriage. This bill went out of its way to take away rights from same-sex couples that were in civil unions or domestic partnerships, from elderly couples that had common law marriages that didn't have all the paperwork legally set up for a traditional marriage. They were also hurt in this bill. Same-sex couples that never, even heterosexual couples that never really had a legally binding marriage contract, their rights as a partner were taken away. If a person in like an elderly couple, a same-sex couple, or a non-legally married heterosexual couple, if one of their partners was sent to the hospital or died, the hospital partner could not visit them, have any say in their treatment or care. If they were to pass away, they could be barred from the funeral by the partner's family, and nothing could be done about it. Nothing. All because they claim the Bible told them to do so. I personally am a Christian, and I love God, I love Jesus, and I don't see my Savior banning someone from seeing the person they love on their deathbed, regardless of what you say marriage was created for. The laws in the Bible regarding marriage and same-sex intercourse weren't due to morality. They weren't due to holiness. It was to propagate this created people. It was to increase the numbers after he created them. It was intended that they reproduce, not because there was anything wrong with same-sex couples, but because it wasn't conducive to propagating the species at the time when the law was made. In the thousands of years since the law was made, we have done a very good job of reproducing, and the world is populated to a very good extent and has no foreseeable means of becoming less thoroughly densely populated. So the law that was put in place to propagate the species is no longer needed. Similar to dietary laws, Jewish dietary laws that were handed down in the beginning, not eating shellfish, not eating pork, this, that, and the other, wasn't a morality law. It was a law intended to protect them from foodborne illness, which they didn't realize at the time. They thought at the time that it was a morality law, when in reality, pork is a very high carrier of bacteria and foodborne illness, as well as certain shellfish when not cooked and handled properly. The law was passed down to protect them. And people saying, well, the law never changes. The Bible's unchanging. they say, when I bring up the part about shellfish and pork and wearing blended fabrics, they say, well, in the New Testament, God handed down the scroll to Paul and said, all these things you may eat. It's an example of the law changing. The law changed. One law that was given in the Bible was changed in the Bible. Not to say the Bible is invalid, not by any means. It's showing that the laws were merely guidelines given to a certain society that can be changed. They aren't that God's nature is changing. It's that God's laws for a certain society at a certain time have changed. God still loves me. God still loves you, no matter who you love. God doesn't look down and say, he doesn't love someone that has a vagina. He's a faulty creation of mine. I don't want to love him. God is a caring God. Same-sex couples are every bit as valid as a heterosexual couple. Every bit as valid. They were banned in the past for reasons not of morality, but of simply trying to propagate the nation, and the nation has been propagated. So that law is no longer necessary. I do believe in God. I do believe in creation. I do believe in morality. I just believe that morality isn't a certain set of do's and don'ts. It is a why and a why not. Laws aren't necessarily set in stone for eternity. When Jesus came, he even was against the religious establishment of the day. He came to overturn it and create a new one, even though it was the original one was created by him, by God. That was corrupted by mankind into becoming about rules that they didn't understand the meaning behind. We need to know why we do what we do, the reason behind it. We need to know why it's wrong to do something, not just do it because we're told to. There's a why behind every law. Laws like thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, etc. They aren't laws just because they said they were laws. There's a reason behind it. When Jesus came, he said the great commandment is love God above all things. And the second law is like unto it. Love thy neighbor as thyself. You follow these two laws, you are following the whole of the biblical law. Those two laws, love God above all else. Love your neighbor as yourself. You're following the whole of the Bible. If you follow those truly, you won't belittle your neighbor for loving the same sex, for loving the opposite sex. Gay couples, please stop harassing the straight people just because they're not gay like us. It's okay. They're not enlightened. It's okay. I'm just messing straight people. But seriously, love God, love your neighbor, and please stop hating me. I have done nothing to you to harm you. I'm just simply a homosexual that loves God. Thanks. Have a good night.